Welcome to Hancock's VMware Half Hour, and welcome back to another episode of Hancock's VMware Half Hour. Well, you've caught me on a Sunday with nothing to do. That's actually a lie. Should actually be out with the bees today, but the weather is awful. 14 degrees C, it's cold. There's a little bit of cool easterly or northeasterly breeze running in. Trees are blowing a bit, bees aren't active, and it might burn off later on, this cloud that's coming in from the east coast. But I think it might be too cool to work the bees, and the last thing I want is cold and angry bees. Anyway, so I thought what I'd do today in this particular video, or this is probably going to turn into actually a series of videos. I was going to look at Nakivo version 11. In fact, actually, I'm going to look at the Nakivo 11.1 beta is what I am specifically going to look at. And I'm going to do warts and all. So this isn't scripted. I've not done this before. So we're probably going to come across things I would think that go wrong or don't go wrong. So again, this isn't scripted. This is what we call off the hoof. Nakivo been around for many years now. And I was liking one of the quotes on the web page that said, more capabilities, half the price. And it's very true, and it does what it says on the tin. I think we all know that Veeam Backup and Replication is probably one of the most popular third-party backup products, I think, that exists for VMware vSphere and Hyper-V and Proxmox and many others. Nakivo came on the scene a bit later. And I have done videos on the product before. I like the ability that we can actually basically install it on our Synology NAS, and then it almost turns your NAS into a backup and replication appliance, if you like. So what we're going to do today, well, basically, I'm going to take, let's just turn that on so you can see. I've got a Windows 2025 server, brand new, fully patched. So in this first part today, we're just going to install Nakivo Backup Replication. And then after I've done the installation, I'm going to do various tasks, and I'm going to break those tasks down in looking at the new features in 11.3 beta, 11.1 beta. I don't know where I get this 11.3 from. 11.1 beta. I'm going to break those tasks down into several videos that I'm going to do on the product, showing the new features within the product. Again, this is beta, so your mileage may vary. This is warts and all, non-scripted, so we may struggle, we may get into difficulty, but you never know, it all just might work swimmingly well. So I've got an espresso to hand. Actually, I've got a double espresso to hand. It's my last one because I've ran out. So I'll have to drink that slowly. So the first thing I've already done, I've downloaded all the beta versions in all the varieties that exist, and there's one for Windows, there's one for Linux, there's an OVA, and there's one for Synology. Anyway, what we're going to do today, we're going to install the Nakivo Backup and Replication version 11.1 beta on this Windows 2025 server. So I've already downloaded these. I did copy them to my NAS. I've now basically copied them from my NAS to the local drive C, and basically I'm just going to hit I'm going to double click the installer, and I'm basically just going to go next, finish, and that will be the first video. So while we're waiting for that. I have got to go back to Veeam Backup and Replication. I keep thinking 13, but no, 13 is the beta version that eventually is going to basically become production. I don't think that's been released yet. Got to go back to 12.3 in another video to show you what I was doing with that. If you've been watching these videos, you know the last couple of videos that I did, other than the CM5, these things on the Raspberry Pi, there we go, these things, these Raspberry Pi things. So the last video I did was on the CM5 and installing ESXi 8.03c on it. And just as I think somebody was maybe getting a little bit confused in the number of videos that I've done, and NVMe tiering is not supported on the Raspberry Pi ARM Fling, because NVMe tiering is actually based on a function of the Intel processor, and only later versions of the processor. Okay, so a beta software will be installed, Nakivo Backup and Replication. You are installing a beta software that is not designed for production use. We get that. This software version may have issues. We've already spoken about that. You may not be able to upgrade deployment to the final series of the product. Yep, I get that as well, because this is just a test server that we've deployed and it's going to get basically trashed afterwards anyway. So I'm going to click proceed. Backup repository. You know what I'm going to do? Because I can. I'm going to go up here to my virtual machine, and I'm going to edit the settings, and let's drop another hard drive. We'll use the vSAN. Add new hard drive. 90 gig, that'll do for testing. So I can actually basically install or select the repository on a specific. So if we just minimize that, I'm not a fan of this new interface, this Windows 11 interface. I don't really like it at all. Or come back in 5 years or 10 years time and see what I think then, when I've got used to it. But I'm not a fan of it now, really, to be honest with you. Anyways, new simple volume. Next, finish. That's E. So I'm just going to call that repo. And we'll have a dedicated repo then, or dedicated drive for our repo. So I should be able to basically now select E. Yeah, okay. So English US. I think that's all we've got there, English US, so we'll have to speak English US. Installation type, yeah, the full solution, whatever that is. What options have we got? Multi-tenant solution, transporter only, yeah, full solution, E-drive. What more options have we got? Okay, I can change the installation path. I can change the direct-to-web GUI port, transport certificate. That's nice. That's nice that I can select a transport certificate at the time of installation. It's good thinking. Yep, send only daily support bundle during the evaluation. Yeah. Accept the license agreement. Yeah. Okay, so let's just select install. I do like purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors, and I do like that purple. That was the same purple I think that was actually used, I think, in one of the last videos I did on Nakivo. I think we had a purplish screen. I think that when we were looking at the Synology version. Anyway, this looks like it's going to be pretty quick, he says, at 54%. Tell you what, I'll just... okay, no, I'll waffle on. What else? There's a couple of questions came in about VLCS. VLCS? That doesn't sound right. VCLS, the virtual machines that are automatically created on vSphere 8, and somebody was saying that they'd actually done an update and now they were missing a VM. There is a change. if you're actually basically updating your VMware vCenter server and you're now on 8.03, now the number of VMs has been reduced to 2. So that answers your question there. So it isn't a problem. You haven't got a problem. They've basically just changed, and there are now 2 VMs and not 3. Okay, so let's click finish and open. That was very quick. If you would have start without your data, don't allow. This is obviously running with Edge, something I don't like as well, but we'll go with it because otherwise I'll have to install Chrome. So starting, if you go back to the VM Backup and Replication upgrade I did, where we upgraded from 11.1 to 12.3, that took a while. You know, that VM Backup and Replication engine and download is huge. It's in the gigabytes. It takes a long time to install, so this is much quicker. So let's just minimize these and minimize these. Minimize that. Well, big X that. Just wait for this to start. I actually don't know currently whether or not that I will have permission to upload these to YouTube. I need to check back with Nakivo on this because it is a beta version, and they may or may not like. So I'm going to type in my name, a username. Okay. I don't know. Okay, so this is creating an account at Nakivo. I don't see. Okay, we'll just go on and do this because at the moment I don't actually basically see an option unless I'm missing it somewhere. I don't see anywhere where it actually basically says, okay, the product may not work properly in this web browser. We recommend using Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. That's interesting, because I actually thought Edge now was based on Chromium, he says. Okay, let me just go and generate a password here. I'm scratching my head because I'm thinking to myself, I already have an account at Nakivo, but it's not actually asking me to sign. I can't see a sign-in option there anywhere. So let's just create a new account for them. Okay, we've generated a password. I'm just going to... And I'm going to click create account. I don't know if this is going to work or not, to be honest with you. And I will save that there. Okay. So at the moment we've got nothing in the inventory, and we've got no nodes. Due to recent performance, any existing Microsoft contain group members will require a full backup on the next run. So I'll click dismiss. Nodes, repositories. And we've got nothing in the inventory yet because we've not actually basically added it. And this is where we would actually basically add our VMware vCenter servers, etc. So I'll do that in the next video. It's not as again, you know, not quite sure. I'm wondering whether or not that I need to have a little look at, what do we give this? 4 CPUs, and we gave it 4 gig of RAM. The RAM might be a bit again, you know, I didn't actually basically read the requirements. I've just played straight into this, warts and all. So I am a little bit surprised. Things just seem a little bit sluggish to me. Anyway, so point of this video, number 1, was basically to show you how to install Nakivo Backup and Replication on our Windows 2025 server. So come back in part 1, where we look at one of the first tasks and new functions, new features that we're going to have a little look at in Nakivo Backup and Replication. And in the meantime, between this video and the next video, I'm going to change the resources and up the resources in our virtual machine, so this server is a little bit more responsive. So once again, if you've liked this video, then give me a thumbs up and a like. Don't forget to subscribe. If you don't like this video, then give me a thumbs down and put in the description why you don't like this video. Anyway, so come back soon for another video in the Hancock's VMware half-hour series, where we look at some of the new features, functions in Nakivo Backup and Replication version 11.1, which is currently on beta. Thanks so much for watching now. Bye-bye.